This is Lucky Links. This video is about that question that I get all the time from people, clients, students, people who just write me. When do I know, or how do I know it's time for me to quit my job or quit what I'm doing and do readings full time? Will I be successful doing it? How do I do it? When do I know it's time for me to do it? This actually reminds me, my answer is going to come here in a little riddle or a little analogy. There was a time in my life where I was involved in some alternative energy stuff, and I would watch people want to switch from the current stuff that they were doing with electricity and gas and everything, and they would want to switch over to solar or wind, and they'd want to switch, and they'd want a system that was cheap, that they didn't have to spend too much on, but yet they wanted to be able to do everything that they were already doing. So that meant like a TV in every room, several refrigerators, electric appliances, things running all day, several computers, and there was so much power being used. Just so much power, the laundry going all the time. There was so much power being used. And we would suggest that maybe they'd want to pare down their usage, that maybe did they really need a TV in every room? Did they really need to be using as much power as they were currently using? Because if they cut down what they were using, they could switch very easily to something that would free them up and take them off the grid. And usually people didn't like that idea because they didn't want to change. They wanted to keep using what they use, and in some cases wasting or using stuff that they really didn't need. The same thing with this, and it doesn't matter if it's about reading cards, or you want to switch and be an artist or be an actor, or go into business consulting, or trade all day long. Whatever it is that you're wanting to switch to, the question is that what are you willing to give up for it? Is it a case that you need to make so much money so that you can maintain the life that you're currently living? Or is there a way that you could pare down the life that you're currently living so that you can do what you love? It's just something to consider. Because usually there has to be an exchange somewhere. And the longer I do this, the more I realize that we are living a life that is full of things that we don't need. Things that we have convinced ourselves that we don't need, and things that weigh us down and weigh down our natural selves. We are buried in things that we don't need. And the irony is that we work jobs we hate to pay for things that we don't need, that we never get to see or be around, because we're working a job that we hate to pay for things that we don't need. And then there comes a point when people realize they are weighed down with stuff and space and houses and property they don't need, and they all of a sudden want to sell it. And if you've ever moved, or you've ever had to go through the estate of someone who was close to you who died, and you saw all this stuff, and you're like, well, they never even knew they had this stuff. They were maintaining this big house, this, that. So how much do you need? What's more important to you, maintaining a certain kind of life or being able to do what you love? So consider that question as you go into the whole, well, when can I give up my job and do readings professionally and full-time, and will I be able to make enough to do it? Okay. The second question, and I get this from students all the time, I get this from clients all the time, and I get this from other people who are psychics who work professionally, and they tell me that they're either like overwhelmed when they do readings, they're overwhelmed with people's energy, they're just like filled with emotion, other people's stuff hit them wherever they go, or they're in torment, or I have no confidence about it, I'm not connecting to the clients, I'm always losing my confidence, I spend most of my time losing my confidence, I'm overwhelmed by other people's emotions. And my answer is very practical in that case. Then, if that's the case, why do you want to do this? Maybe this isn't for you. There are so many things that you can do where you might feel confident, you might feel at ease, you might feel comfortable with it. It always amazes me that people think that they are destined to do something that is so hard for them to do. And this is in every area. People think they're destined to be doctors and they're just not good at it, or it's so hard for them, or they're destined to be in business and it doesn't work for them, or they're destined to be card readers or psychics, and they're overcome with all this self-doubt and self-pain or whatever. And I'm going to say it's the same thing for a doctor as it is for a psychic. If you're overcome with all of this self-doubt and emotions, your clients will feed it. If not only will your clients feel it, but your clients will pay for it. Because all of that stuff will be projected onto them, and it'll get in the way of the reading. So ask yourself those two questions. If you want to do this professionally, is it a case of having to make so much to support a certain kind of life, or is it a case of reducing that certain kind of life to be able to do what you love? And secondly, is it come easily to you? Is it something you're passionate about? Is it something you're good at? Or is it something that causes you a lot of pain, a lot of self-doubt? Because if it causes you self-doubt, either you have to practice a lot more so that you don't doubt, or this isn't for you. So consider practice, 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 practice until you don't have the self-doubt. And if the self-doubt doesn't go away, then ask yourself, why is it that I really want to do this? Have I convinced myself of something that isn't true? And that means being really, 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 really honest with yourself. And for those of you who do want to practice more, let me segue. I have my classes. I have a tarot class. For those of you who want an intermediate to advanced tarot class, there is a Lenormand class that I am currently teaching that I am now going to segue into a second class on Lenormand, which is just focused on the Grand Tableau. So if you've always wanted to learn the Grand Tableau, things like do you use the houses? Do you use the houses? What happens if you do use the houses? What happens if you don't use the houses? Mirroring, how to find out someone's secrets, how to read in columns, how to read in rows, how to get the bigger picture, when you use a Grand Tableau, when you don't use a Grand Tableau. I'm also going to be doing in the fall a crystal ball class, and I'm probably going to be doing a Mexican Loteria class. I think I got one more. A playing card class. If you've always wanted to learn to read playing cards, I have a playing card class as well. They are all virtual. They are in a private, secret Facebook group where I post the lectures, and then there are 2 one-on-one coaching sessions with me for each class. And if you'd like to know more about them, or if you'd like to schedule a reading with me, 779-302-8009, or conjurehope@gmail.com. And I'd be happy to set you up with either setting you into a class or setting up a reading for you. As always, I am Lucky Links, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. Please, if the thought or the work around this causes so much pain or so much problems or so much confusion, it should be easier. Just remember, it should be easier. So whatever you can do to simplify is probably the answer, or at least probably puts you on the right track. You guys have a great night, and if you're going to be doing this, remember, if it's not fun and if it's not enjoyable, your clients will feel it.